New perspective outlook. Sharing a little life. That's how the new perspective outlook goes, you know? Put into the thinker thinking. Open up the faculties. New outlook. As some people say, new hair. Well, it's all about the numbers. Because of the numbers, you can have new hairs.
You have zero people. You have zero people.
Oh, make it record.
Then after
Hmm?
after I done me get it recorded. Look at you want me read it on my phone? You want me read it on my phone?
Stop it.
Hold on.
As I say, it is the new perspective outlook. And you know the new perspective outlook method. You can still share the hunger. There's no 24 hours. That means this is numbers. Whether the number is binaries or it not. But this whole universe is all about numbers. There's nothing you can do without numbers. Nothing you can do without numbers. So if we have a new year, it have to start with numbers. So you to reach to that cul-de-sac, for you to start over, it have to be with numbers. So the whole universe, whether it is law or it is not law, remember to do the title. Tush, remember to do the title. You doing it now? Come and do it.
Where do you want the title to be?
You pause it. Well, the binary is numbers, whether you want to use it or not, but it's all about the numbers. Life run with numbers, and that is a order. The numbers is order. So if we start a new year, it have to be a cul-de-sac where you stop to start over. We run by numbers. With all these numbers of cells, transistors, numbers of them. And we age with numbers. You and your mother's womb, that numbers. So if they're black, a video I try to share, I made another one. I made a number 2. If the black number 2, I made number 3. So I don't care much video they want to black. I want to black them. And I will not contest it. Because the new prospective outlook. So there are things to say similar every day. If the words is different, it's similar. So if I speak about voltage, anywhere there is current, you have to be volt, because the volt let it move. Anywhere there is electricity, they have to be volt. Because the voltage is what moves the current and move the electricity. It gives the push. And that numbers again. So whenever you apply the new prospective outlook method, which include for you to stay hungry for a period of time. Period is number, time is numbers. What that does is create the voltage to build up. And the voltage is the value system of your system. Without the voltage, you have no value. That's what to keep the value. That is what keep you to the high potential when you get that push from the voltage. So the oxygen you breathe in create a charge. And when you heat, that particles create a charge. But the voltage have to be there to push it to get where you need to go. So you know the endocrines have to be charged. And the endocrines them need to be charged. Your third eye, the pineal glands. That is what put you to sleep. It recharges you. That's the reason why it is so active and activate with the sun. It puts you to recovery. That's when you sleep. That's a temporary death. It's not permanent. The melatonin, beg your pardon, is what you need. Because the melatonin puts some colors, especially around the heart areas. Words fail me there. I know I will remember that word another time. And those colors, it come from the melatonin. They have to be eaten out by the parasite. Because the parasite in you, which you call the worms, they make you alive. And remember, when you're in departure lounge and you die, you eat by worm again.
Somebody in jail and say
hi. IJ. So the worms, which is parasite, is very important. And that's why this method, the new prospective outlook method, try to tell you the live way to keep yourself alive and keep yourself what you call healthy. I don't like that word. I like to talk to you about keep yourself really wealthy, because health is wealth. And when you think, when you're fully charged and you think the way you're supposed to think, you put yourself into that waiting mood. You don't entangle. And if you entangle and you're in it, you know how to get out of it because you're charged. So if you entangle with the beast, with the wants and the needs, you will know how to get out of it. Because when you're waiting, that's the time you're fully charged. You can't wait for your business. You can't wait for a wife. You can't wait for a husband. You don't let nobody look at you as a whole Christmas tree. Some male, because of the tool not working, and I'm gonna use the medical words, when the tool is not working, and people want to compare you of a whole Christmas tree. The whole Christmas tree have on a lot of balls. You only have two. And the reason why you allow them to can compare you to a whole Christmas tree, because of the tool is not working. It's because you don't know what to do. I'm not blaming you. Because when you know to stay hungry and don't overfed, don't think the yamming is life. And you know to appreciate things. So when you're fucking it, or you have sex, and you know how to appreciate knowing that tool working. If the hunger alone can do that, you have some of the cleanest sex when you're hungry. Some of the best sex. You fuck, and after you fuck, you're going to eat. You go dine. That is the reason why most people and most kids and most women get to conceive in the morning. Check the record. In the morning. You know why? Because when you sleep and you wake and you're hungry and you're going to have that sex, your body's so fully charged. Most men make baby before get up to work because they are so fucking hungry. They wake and they are so hungry. And that's the reason. That's the main reason. That is the main reason why it works like that. You have to know to endorse hungry. You have to know how to stay hungry. You have to know how much how you go by. After you go so many hours. Sometimes when I go 20 hours in the day, I don't even remember. I have to check myself to remember that, yeah, I'm supposed to eat now. As I go 20. And that's awesome. And you still could do 2 meals. If you want. Still. But when you get so friggin' craving, and that's why I mess up a lot of people. But people know to wait and fully charge. These are the people can go 20 hours a day. So you have a 4-hour slot. Could have 2 meals by 8 o'clock. The digestive system ready. If you go to bed by 10, by 9, you don't need no insulin. You burn smooth. Especially if you know to heat the bioelectric food. Have the bioelectric product. You go to your high potential. Can you know to eat the food? Smooth sailing, amylopiptan. Yeah. No food that burn amylo. It's gonna spike your sugar. You're gonna need so much insulin. And no medical people tell you about the glucagon. They don't give nobody nothing for glucagon. They give you it for insulin. What about the glucagon? What it does? It does not functioning well. So that the insulin not functioning well. Because when the insulin go up, the glucagon go down. So when the insulin go down and rapid, the glucagon send up. And remember, I say I'm not teaching. I share. So whatever you have to share, you got to share what you're going to share. Whatever you want to share, we're on TikTok. Share what you can share. Anything you can share. If you don't receive anything that you can share with anyone, that's okay with me. I have to share with you what I know. And whenever you apply this method, you let me know. And whenever this method work, you let somebody know. So it's all about the sharing. So when you say you're gifting, you're on TikTok now, you're gifting. You're sharing. I have to receive something to share. I receive what I'm telling you. I know the method work. And I'm comfortable telling you it. I'm not charging you to telling you. And that's the reason why I have the prospect. And people who want the prospect who buy product. You get to join the prospect so long as you want to. So you can make back whatever you spend to buy your product and make back more so long as you create sales. So all of that is all about sharing. The feedback mechanism for sharing is receiving. Because for you to have something, somebody has to lose something. You cannot share what you don't have. You have to have something for you to share. So you receive something. You're born as a receiver. Everybody born as a receiver. It's just like everybody born hungry. That's why the baby cries when they're born. Because they're so fucking hungry. They got to cry. So all these people say they're slapping baby. Want baby to cry. You don't have to do that. They're hungry. You don't have to hear them cry. They're still hungry. Because they're not feeding enough food. They're getting current when they're the mother home. No food. If they didn't feed them food, a lot of them would stifle and die. They would die. Because that's what the food do. It ride up on their stomach and stop them from breathing properly. they will die. They have to run by electricity. They're AI when they're in the room. They're so magnetic. But when they're born now, when they start to eat food, because they don't sick in the womb, you know. If they're gonna die in there, they're gonna die, but they don't sick. They have to born before they can have an ailment. You got to born. And you know what the first meal is supposed to be when you're born? The first breath you take is your mama poo. And the first meal is supposed to be your mama poo. So when they're telling you about baby eat this and baby sick, if the baby sick when they eat the mama poo, it's because the mother on charge. She yamming too much. And that's cause a problem. But what come from you don't supposed to sick your child. That is what build the floor of the gut, where the electricity begin. The floor of the gut is supposed to be clean. Build a good parasite to clean the whole system. That's what this is all about. When you get yourself fully charged to the highest potential, it is so easy, it's so simple. There's nothing here which I am speaking. It is so fully and so easy to understand. Every human being is mistake. Every human being is mistake. And that is why the brain is the powerfulest thing on the earth. And the truth always in you. So just stop a little and think a little. And just think about your own self and you realize you can't be run by food. You can't be run by food. You run by electricity. The food is just a part of getting these particles to help you to charge more. To just help you to charge more. There's so many other things which giving you current. But because we as life and how we create, we never designed to just run by one electricity. The creation wouldn't worthwhile. Because 23 chromosomes from the male and 23 from the females. And it started to develop. It started to develop nerves, which is electricity. It developed eyes, it developed brain. And it started right there. What it name? It name nothing. And that's where the life starts from. It name nothing. When you feed by current. That's where the life begins. Because we're predator and we're prey. All of us are predator and prey. And we are part of the ecosystem. So that is the reason why, because we create from sin. But the light shine into that darkness and give that power, which is the current, and develop us as human beings. But because of the dark side, the demon side, and the darkness can only be seen when there's no light. Only when there's no light, just like what happened now. The darkness seen when there's no light. When there's no light. But soon as I do this, soon as I do that, there's no more darkness. There's the beauty of light. So how can we get the darkness so beautiful? But because of how the power create this thing, for us to use the demon, which is the darkness. People like to have sex in the dark. I don't like it. I don't like it. I like to look at my woman ass in the light. I like to look at it. We got to use the darkness, which people think that is the devil, is Satan, but I call it the demon. But what we're going to do, and we should do it, that's what I do. We should do it. We don't allow the demon to ride us. We don't allow the demon to ride us. We ride on the shoulder of the demon. So whenever you don't have the power of waiting, you don't fully charge, and you have to be on the unconscious side, riding the demon. You're riding the demon with care. Don't allow the demon to ride in the wants and needs. So that is where you get in. But you're going to get out. It's just like you're doing some illegal stuff. Out there peddling drugs, doing this, for you know what is illegal today, soon be legal. Maybe just because they can't collect the tax, but whenever they figure out the way to collect the tax, it's going to be legal. Marijuana was illegal here maybe 100 or 200 years ago. And it get illegal. A lot of people in prison today for marijuana doing all 50, 70 years. I hear President Biden pardon some the other day. Now almost everywhere in the world, marijuana is legal. But maybe by I leave Earth, it's gonna be legal again. It's how it runs. This is Earth. It gives and it takes. So that is the beauty of it. We still got beauty out of the darkness. Look at the lights. If never the darkness, it couldn't look so beautiful. So you got to know how to ride the wave with your enemy. People will say it's a new here now. And everybody come down and say they have enemies. That's true. I have a lot. Even my baby mothers. That's a lot. Everybody have enemies. But what you gotta do? What I use to conquer my baby mothers? Because they're my enemies, they're haters. I love kids more than anybody else. I treat kids the best. But I don't spoil kids. I treat them the best. So when you got your enemy, if you don't try to outdo your enemy, and when you're riding in the demon's shoulder, as I said, you ride every wave with the demon. You don't let the demon know what you fear. For whatever you fear, you bring it to the demon. And what people should do, this is the second day of what they said in New Year. You should find your enemy and tell them you want to die this year, how they can help you to die. Because most people get enemy from grudge. People grudge you, so they be your enemy. And you grudge people, so you be an enemy of them. There are so many different things cause enemies. Expectation, wants and need. People try to outdo people. I teach a lot of young guys during the last 5 years, I'm not a young guy, how they could get themselves fulfilled by not using the unconscious, but the conscious. These are some guys who they run road. They are very rich guys, rich from the street. And I said to them, and it worked. This is out of the new perspective outlook. It worked, and I said to them, the only person, I'm talking about male. I deal with female too, but I'm talking about male now. The only person you need to compete with is your dad. And I said to them, say, if you don't have a dad, you can compete with me if you never know your dad. So all you need to do, if you did have a dad, and your dad raised you up, and if your dad raised you up, send you to school, what he's supposed to do, what he can do, but most dads do what they can do. And if he raised you up in a rent house, and you find yourself owning a house, you don't do your dad, but you do more than what your dad do. If you send your children to private school, and you never went there, you do more than your dad. And that's all you need to do in this great universe, is compete with your dad. And every female, you don't have to run competition with this girl who look better than you. Because if you grow up and you see your mommy usually dressed, and you can look at some pictures and say, wow, my mom do this well in his time. Look at my mom. Compete with her. Don't compete with your sister. You get yourself messed up in the deep shit. Don't compete with your brother. Compete with your dad. And whenever you compete with your dad, if you grow up and your dad rich, or stinking rich, that's the guy you're supposed to compete with. He don't even have to know. And if you compete with your dad, and he have any legacy, and when he think he closer to departure, and whatsoever he leave with you, that make up a part of what you already achieve. And then when it's your time to go to departure, you're gonna do the same. That's generation wealth. And that create the peace of mind, create the fully charge, create you to the highest potential, and let you run up by culture. So what messing up people? And they created enemies for themselves, and they're creating a lot of other enemy. It's because they compete. People who wait, who fully charge, who know to charge themselves to the high potential, they don't compete with people. Because whenever they're waiting, they're dancing. They enjoy themselves waiting. That is why some people go to prison. And when they're in prison, they wait for their time. Some of them waiting for 50 years and get out in 20. Get out on parole. But they didn't put their mind for the 50 years. And they only end up to 20. When you see these kind of people get out, they move their life. They come and surplus pass people who they leave out there. because they go into prison and they're so fully trained to wait. That's why people on death row, they die somehow. They should sell every brain with go on death row. Because they wait. They wait. They're waiting on their death. And they pay no part get into this world. Then death row and they wait for their death. That's a fulfill. They pay no part get into this world. So I guess they don't have no problem with their departure. Because most of them, and I hope most of them, nobody did tell any lie on them. I hope not. Because I know that is so awesome to sit down years to years and waiting for your death. And knowing that your death maybe gonna be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Because I know your mind. I know the spirit, not the mind, the spirit gonna work. Because the spirit work with waiting. I know the spirit is gonna wait, gonna say to you, you pay no part coming to this world. And if you pay no part coming to this world, why would you worry about your departure? What sense that would make? Sush, what you doing? What sense that would make? When you pay no part come into the world. Your mom and your dad pay the part, not you. That's why I wonder why people get entangled with the demons and create all kind of ailment. Why worry about that? Why stress yourself about what you don't have? Why stress yourself about what you have because you fear you're losing? Why putting yourself into that expectation? Some people die and they think it's premature because they want to see their kids fixed in so many different ways. But if you want to get your mind at ease, and I think what you should do, or you want to get spiritual, you should say to yourself, what if I want my children, all my children to be doctors? Actually, I want my neighbor to be sick. I don't want my children to. I'm not thinking about this. I'm just leaving this in the holy hand. If they have to be a doctor, they got to be a doctor. Don't have this high expectation when they don't look like they're treading on that road. You get sick by the expectation. Just leave it alone. Just do what I tell you. If I want all my children to be doctor, that means I want all my neighborhood to be sick. What you gonna think? You don't want to help? No. You're trying to see how better you can make them be than the others. What if I want all my children to be a lawyer? He may be a criminal lawyer. So maybe this community is gonna break down and full of criminals. And because of you not getting your way with your kids, with that high expectation for your kids to be a lawyer and a doctor, you get ill. You get out of shape. You start to name too much. The thyroid break down. You lose your ass. You lose the shape you should have. You start to walk and jaw. And so once you losing all these things and create that bad feedback mechanism, you see that you have cancer. And whenever you get yourself and fix yourself into that high expectation, unrealistic expectation, that fear that your kid not to come out to anything. So you want to die, you don't want to see. Or you mean not coming out to be anything. They're always going to be something. They have life. They have their space here on earth. Don't let that be your problem. Because that kind of problem can create no future. Because the future you're going to get is when you hear that you have diabetes. I don't like the medical terms. I don't like the medical name. Are you going to hear that you have cancer? That is what's going to happen. The expectation can let you so sick. And you're running around, I mean, all these food and telling lion food. The food do this, the food do that, the food do this. Stress is a thing that give you high blood pressure. When that shouldn't be a great problem if you have high blood pressure without the stress. Because if you have high blood pressure without the stress, that is where the physiology of the body wants it to be protecting something. But when you stress yourself, and they have to give you something to slow down your heart, how good that going to be? You stress yourself and set the blood pressure high. You know what it create? It create hemorrhoid. It create gout. It creates so many different things it create. It creates so many different things which your body system can control. So many different things can come out of the expectation, come out of the fear, come out of the stress. All this from it. So many different things, so many different ailments. But when you don't only know the new perspective outlook matter, but when you know to get yourself charged, people are afraid of the sun. The sun charge over 70%. That's what it is. Charge you so much. You live as long as Methuselah. You won't come down with ailment. And every ailment you have, so long as ailment in your system, the sun can heal it. Because the sun is light. It is light. It creates a current. It is the power. So the light, the current, the charge, the voltage, all of these are healing. It is. People don't have to sick. You can give donation to all these places which make wealth of you when you're sick. You don't have to sick. They don't make you sick. They don't. No. What they may be trying to do is help you when you're sick. You make yourself sick. You make yourself craving. It is everybody in this world is an addict to something. Everyone. So long as you have life, you're addict to something. I have my addiction too. I have two addictions. I addict to sex and I addict to talking. That's my main two. People addict to caffeine. So people addict to coffee, they addict to sodas. People addict to other stuff. People addict to lie. One of my son, he addict to tell lies. Maybe it is a useful exuberance. Lies is a useful exuberance, but not every time. He sport lies. People addict to all kind of things. And some addiction can lead to another. With no addiction is bad. None is bad. If you use drugs and people say you're addict to drugs, it's a useful exuberance. You keep somebody clean. You don't want to stay clean, so you keep somebody clean. But addiction is very important. Addiction is what you must have. Because if you don't know how to be an addict, you can't know how to get yourself fully charged to high potential. But you had it to waiting. You had it to stay hungry. Because whenever you stay hungry for a period of time, you don't feel it no more. But you're still hungry. The worm eating, the parasite cleaning. So you are going to get yourself charged. You're gonna get yourself charged and your body gonna feel so refreshed. This is a method which I let people use in for years and they're so refreshed. Because they run now by the Spirit. And the Spirit is you. When you run by the mind, you run by the demon. When you run by the Spirit, you run by the power, and the power is you. The only greater power which gives you power is the Son. And that is the Almighty. You can't live without that power. Nothing can live without that power. That is, I don't know if you want to call it God, but if you want to choose something else and call God, but the God that you're calling upon have to run by the Son, which create the vibration and the frequency. And when you run by the Spirit, you run by the Son. You don't run by your mind. Create wants and needs and mayhem and all kind of things and grudge and all kind of nonsense. But if you got to get into it, you can come out. You can. If you got to get into it, you can come out. And you will, sooner or later. Get your ass out of it. You achieve what you want to achieve already. So when you ride on that demon's shoulder, and you got to ride because you don't have the patience of waiting. So you rather to do the demands, which is the wants and needs, so you get in tongue with all kind of people. At your work, you have grudge and grief. And you cannot be happy when you're using your mind. You won't be happy. You can't gonna tell you different things. You're gonna tell us that this is not where you should be. It's not the girl you should have in your life. Because everything is gonna be perfect. Everything is gonna be perfect. You're gonna say she can't suck good, she can't do this good, she can't do that good. No. Because you deal with the demon. When you deal with the Spirit, every touch you touch golden, every touch you touch golden. You just do the right stuff. You just do the right thing. When you're a man who waits and you know how to do your thing. If you're a girl, the receptionist, and you and her have sex tonight, when she go to work tomorrow and she answer that phone, hello, it's not your singing. But when you and the demon side and you go have sex with your girl, she don't fulfill, she don't satisfy. She don't make no big water. She don't create that big water. But you call the rainforest. So if she answer the phone at work, hello, you got to step and listen one day. Okay. I call the right number. Because she don't fulfill. Because they told you on the demon side where there's no party. There's no fun time. It's always stress time. It's always punching. It's always knocking to get this. And when you get it, you don't need it again. You're gonna knock again for something else. Knock again for something else. But when you're on the waiting side, which is the conscious side, you dance. You're having a party. You're having fun time. So you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing. For your main addiction is waiting. You don't have to take blue pills. Because when you're the ones that need say you got to take blue pills. You want to take things to forget things. We don't want to forget nothing. We want to remember everything. Because we keep on party. So when we keep on party on the waiting side, which is the conscious side, the ultra side, when you're waiting there, you're having party for your life to remember. You want to. Which the brain doesn't build for memory. It builds for imagination. Do you want to remember? Because there's big good things. You make life look like it only have one side when you're on the waiting side. And life doesn't have one side. So all the pain, you can take it there. You're not fighting for no fantasy. Because the fantasy faking. So what you do? You endorse the pain. That means if you get hungry, you endorse hungry, and the little pain come. Some people say when they gonna get head hurt. I remember one of my friends, when I introduced the method to him, he said, man, I can't take this, man, I'm gonna hungry as fuck, my head gonna hurt me. I said, try the fucking method, man. And he tried the method and now he's a star. He don't know more headache. I said, just try the he don't know more headache. His digestive system working good. He feel like he living in his youth. He have young girls and he's 60-year-old. Young girls. Young kids. Still raising young kids and he have old kids. Grown kids he got. And he's still living to his potential. He can go and fuck every night he want to. Because nothing clad up in it. No melanin don't clad nowhere close to the heart because the parasite already eat those. They feed in those. Whatever cell dead, you got dead cell every day, what gonna eat them up? If the parasite don't go to work. Your doctor won't tell you this and they don't need him to tell you. Your doctor is not trained to do these things. He's trained to make sure you don't overdose with your drugs. Every pharmaceutical product has to have something to do with the earth, which is plants. They cannot create anything without the power. Everything they make in this world have to have something to do with the earth. That's why they talk about minerals and vitamins, which is important. But current, when you're running by current, the oxygen have iron. I don't need to study about these plants giving you potassium and giving you this and giving you that. That's not my concern. My concern is to make sure these particles gonna create proton, neuron, and electron. Because that's what you need. Because you run by current. I need to know my plants is not poisonous. And if it is poisonous and you use it, you know when to use it. And if it's poison, you're not gonna drop dead from the plants which is poison. You're not gonna drop dead book. So if you're gonna have vomiting or shitting, diarrhea, there are the plants to control that. There's charcoal. We come from plants base, become charcoal, and that can take out that toxin. The parasite themselves feed in toxin. They want toxin. Whether it be toxin from plants or from meat. The parasite need that. They fed in that. They eat all these toxins from you. All these dead cells, they take them. That's why they won't teach you unless you know that these things is what clean your system. They in the baby gut before the baby come out that home. They're there, hungry as hell, but they make life possible. They make life possible. And you have to keep them as hungry as hell. And if you keep on them, they're not gonna do their work. They're like kids. When you spoil your kids, they do nothing. They wake up on their phone. You don't got to tell them to go on the phone. But they do nothing. They don't want to eat when you spoil them. So we don't want to spoil these parasites. We want them to put them to work to create our wealth. Because you need to leave something. Everybody should have. Give it to charity. Give it to charity. Give it to charity. You need to leave something. And if you don't fully charge to your hypertension, no matter what gain you got, you can't put it to business. Because you're not gonna know how to find somebody to partner with. You're gonna hide what you know. You're not gonna find a partner. And when you're fully charged, and if you have the resources, you join with other people. Because there's a lot of people who have a lot of things, can make a lot of money, but they don't have the resource. And sometimes you got to move along and have to charge them up. Because we feed from each other. We feed. You have life, you feed it. The dead stuff feed us too. We feed from the plants feed from us. These are all current. You don't want to see the current. You just want to see what the current do. You don't need to see electricity. You don't need to see what it do. Whether it is damaged or not, but you just need to see what it do. That's what you need to see. What the electricity do. I cannot talk without current. I'm speaking now and I have to charge. This is current. I'm hearing now and that is current. All the transistors working. Transmitter working. Our hearing aid work. It have to have transmitter. So it work. All these devices where they put into human being, whether the hearing aid or that one for the heart, what it name again? It have to run by current. They got to run by current. So my ears now run it with current. So if my heart not running well and I have a pacemaker, it have to run by current. If you don't run by current, why don't give the pacemaker food? Why don't give the hearing aid food? Why they don't? They give them current. The pacemaker and the hearing aid. You know how important that is? Because some people don't know the importance of the ears. That's what keep your balance. And when you balance, you balance with the frequency and the vibration. Some people don't know the importance of the heart. So that's the reason why they tell you about love with all my heart. Your heart has nothing to do with love. Love comes from the mind and the spirit. And the same place you get the hate from. So most of these things electrical. You can't see love. Love running by current. You won't see it. You only can see what it does. The hate is the same thing. You only can see what they do. But you can't see that. The whole universe run by electricity. Everything. Don't run by food. Don't run by nyamins. It run by electricity. Which is very, very important for we to know in this age. In this age, 2024. Electricity is important. And that's what you have. That is what you have. You already have your vitamins. You already have all the minerals you need. You already have them. So all they need is electric. You got your potassium, you got your iron, you got all these minerals. You got your copper, you got your zinc, you already have them. You're made with them. So all you need to do is get them electrified. And they work to the high potential. That's all you need. Now this whole nyaming like you're crazy. That's not what you need. Sush. That's what you need. That is what you need. to get yourself charged. Not to get yourself crazy. Not to get yourself crazy. Because when you get yourself crazy and you're out of shape, that's the time you're sorry. That's the time you're sorry. And this time you're running all over taking all kind of supplements so you want to lose weight. When you don't have to have weight, do your own research and look at it. At these people who barely can walk, they can't run. And look how they get that weight. Huh? The heat around the clock. The heat around the clock. They put it in and all of it not coming out. They put it in and all of it not coming out. And that's not what you need. The food you need is so little bit. Because you will make it take your life. Starvation take a long time before it can take your life. And that's why the prisoners them go on hunger strike. That's why. But they want them to eat because they want them to die. They would feed them. There's no place to feed like in prison. Nowhere. You never hear that prisoner in Haiti crying out for hunger. I can't get food to eat. No matter how the country poor, they're gonna feed their prisoners. They're gonna feed them like hogs because they want them to die. They're gonna feed them. You're gonna lock them down for 24 hours a day and keep them fed. Because they're killing them. But the small prisoner always going fasting and have time for a hunger strike. Check it. Everywhere in this world, anywhere in Africa, Guatemala, all these places, Brazil, these prisoners don't hungry. They feed them because they want them to die. If you heard of it, I didn't. I never heard of a prison who the prisoner go into starvation and die. Not even in the Bible. They feed them to death. Because they know that where the whip is. Your teeth will kill you because we are predators and prey. We are a predator and prey. We are part of the ecosystem. So that is why. We are a part of the ecosystem. We are all predator and prey. And that's how it works. That is how it works. So, I'm closing for today. So, I get forward with you another day. Much